It's early. There's a few things I want to get done today. Number one, got to drop the pup off to get groomed. I got to go to Best Buy. I need an SSD card because my 6-year-old MacBook Pro only has 256 gigabyte and shooting in 4K takes up a lot of room. Before I do that, I'm going to work out at 9. Got to go drive back to the beach. What is the workout today? Teams of 2, 50 box jumps, 400 meter run, 50 power snatches at 95 pounds, 400 meter run, 50 overhead squats, 95 pounds, 400 meter run, 50 toes to bar, 400 meter run. I hate running. But the big thing I want to do today is look at my finances for the end of the year, determine what I should cut, what I should keep. And as I was thinking about this last night, I needed to evaluate after a year of having whether or not it's worth the $550 fee. But first things first, I gotta get this pup to her appointment and I gotta get to the gym. All clean. Now let's talk about this bad boy, my AMEX Platinum. Coming up January 8th for me, so it should be on my next billing statement. What I wanted to do was look at what kind of benefits I got out of it from just purely the accounting standpoint and try to figure out if it's something that I should keep or if there's other cards that I could maybe just use instead. Like I have the Capital One Venture card. There's tons of things that you can go into as far as what exactly this card is going to give you. So you get things like you get 5 times points on prepaid hotels. You get 5 times on flights. If you book through American Express Travel, which I actually prefer, you get a lot of extra benefits. I think you get like a little discount on for airlines like American Airlines, which I fly out of Miami International all the time because there's a hub down here. The American Express Global Lounge Collection, this is fantastic. You get Priority Pass Lounge, which is usually $99 a year. So if you use that right there, $550, just knock off the $99. And for me, out of Miami International, the Centurion Lounge is beautiful. There's Fine Hotels and Resorts program, Uber rides, we'll get into that. $200 airline fee credit. You get Hilton Honors Gold status, Gold Elite status at Marriott, Global Dining Collection, Hotel Collection. From some other hotels, you get a $100 credit. This is my favorite, Global Entry and TSA PreCheck. I don't understand how everybody doesn't have this. It is the most annoying part for me to go to the airport, take off your shoes, take your electronics out. You know, I usually carry a laptop, maybe 2 laptops, my personal, my work, iPad, the camera, your phone, everything. Take your belt off, take your watch off, all that stuff. I don't do any of that. Also, when I came back from Thailand, I sped through customs. I just went right through. It took me about 15 minutes to land and get out. And after a 26, actually when I came back, it was a 30-hour trip back from Phuket. All I wanted to do when I landed was get in my car or the Uber and go home. You know, so that was fantastic. Upgrade with points, no foreign transaction fees. You know, if you travel internationally, that stuff can add up and it's fantastic to have. Car rental privileges. I just actually got upgraded to Hertz 5-star, and that was because I got to start at a certain level with the Amex. Shop Runner. What I haven't done a great job at was looking at the rewards that you can get for cash back. I took advantage of it only one time in this past year, which was I bought Oakley sunglasses and it was spend $150, get $25 back. Now I had gotten LASIK and I usually bought cheap sunglasses and I thought, no, not this time. I need something that will protect my eyes because I just dropped a lot of money on them. That saved me $25. So right off the bat, you know, had the $550, $25, I'm at $525. And it just goes on and on and on. So what did I actually use out of this? We'll start with the $550 and see if I got my money back. I don't really want to evaluate. So when you open the card, you get 60,000 points. and that's if you spend, I believe, 5,000 with a certain time period. So I would recommend waiting until you have some big expenses coming up. And it's also important to note that this is a charge card that you have to pay off on a monthly. So I also love that too, and I do that for all my cards anyway, but I don't accrue interest. You know, people get afraid of cards, which I'm just mind blown, but just pay it off. Just pay as you go, treat it as a debit card, and you won't have to worry about that. Because when you're using cash or debit cards that I see people use, you're losing money, you're losing points. And I like to take advantage of all of that as much as humanly possible, because I have not paid for a flight in 8 months. I got a wedding coming up, and that will be the first flight that I've paid for in quite some time. Here's one. You get $100 to Saks Fifth Avenue. I don't ever shop there. It comes in $50 increments every 6 months, but it was great to have. One, I bought a Lacoste polo, tennis polo, which was super nice. It happened to be marked down to $50. Plus, with Shop Runner that you get through AMEX, you get free 2-day delivery. I got a free polo. Now, there's $200 a year in airline reimbursement, and I did not use the $200. But I did use $68.91 of that, and that means that I had $131 left over that I didn't touch. And then here you go. This is a big one. I redeemed $1,110.38 with my points this year. Again, that's why I haven't paid for a flight in 8 months. But something important to note is that I buy my flight through Amex Travel, but I make sure in my rewards on American Airlines that I'm also on their reward program as well. So that sense, I'm double dipping. So I've bought flights through my points with Amex Travel, and I've also bought, I think, $300 to $400 worth of free flights through the American Airlines rewards program. I'm not factoring the American Airlines portion of that, but you gotta think about that as well. And then here's my favorite, $200 a year in Uber credits. That's divvied out over the 12-month period. What I love about that is, yes, I do take Ubers and I have used it for Ubers, but Uber Eats, free food. Last night I was looking and I thought, oh, I had $21 left in my Uber Eats or my Uber account, and I needed to use it. And it just so happened I got back from the gym late last night, got back here, didn't want to go back out, ordered food. Got some Shake Shack, which was delicious. To me, it was like free food, you know? That's kind of the cherry on top if I look at all this. Other things I didn't use the hotel credit, and I didn't use the $100 for the TSA PreCheck Global Entry because that's something that I had prior. That was a total of $331.09 I did not use. My total that I used as far as dollar figure this year was $1,504. Now, I didn't know that going into this. I wanted just to see, just from a dollar's perspective, am I getting enough value that validates keeping this card for another year at $1,504? I'm just gonna knock off the $600 because I'm not gonna get that intro fee again. And here's another thing to note. This is a travel card. You get the most bang for your buck if you use your miles only for travel. Now, you can get distracted because you can shop with your rewards, but you are talking a massive reduction in points. Like, I don't understand it personally, why anyone would want to do that. If you know these points are going to go for travel, you are losing hundreds of dollars by wasting it buying other products. Like, I know Apple and Yeti, which are two things that I love, but I'm not going to use these points for it because I know I'm going to pay for travel with them. And then I'll knock off the $550 that's coming up on my next billing statement, and the total that I got out of this card this year, just from a dollar's perspective, was $354 additional dollars. So at that number, I'm definitely down to keep the card. I didn't know looking into this. I could call and just be like, hey, I'm going to cancel. And based on my experience, American Express would be like, sure, okay. Or they'll, do some other benefit or anything. So I would highly recommend this card. Plus, here's something, it's so dumb to say, but again, this thing is a monster. Okay, well that's like a pretty dumb reason just to get this card is because it is a big hunk of metal. But I mean, it is something that people talk about when they get this card. Like you get it and you feel it. It comes like in a wood box. It's just a unboxing experience that I haven't had with a credit card, and it's definitely something that you definitely know that American Express thinks about. And now, and the last thing I want to say about this card is it is, getting the benefit of $354 is something that's everyone should consider. Now, it is called an American Express Platinum card, and to that, when people hear it, they go, "Oh, it must cost a ton just to have it. You must have high income to have a card like this." And I wouldn't say that would be necessarily true. Based on what I've read, you would just need to get approved. For anybody that's making plans for the new year to travel more, definitely now is the time to consider getting a travel card, and I hope this helps. Peace. She won't eat it. No. Yeah, she's too distracted. Awesome, thank you very much.